Hey everyone, today we are making 5 more summer sheet pan dinners. All of these dinners are cooked on one pan, which means easy dinner with even easier cleanup. We will be making sheet pan salchipapas, bruschetta chicken, paella, cashew chicken, and mini meatloaves. We've got a lot to cover, so let's go get started. So let's start out with the Sheet Pan Salchipapas. Now this is, I believe, it originated as a Peruvian street food dish. I actually learned how to make this from my coworker at the restaurant that I worked at. He always made it in the back as a little snack for everybody. But basically what it is French fries and hot dogs cut up and served with ketchup, mustard, and an ají amarillo sauce, which is like a little bit of a spicy pepper kind of sauce, and it is so good. So I was really craving this the other day and decided to just try and make it on a sheet pan. So what I'm doing is cutting up 2 large russet potatoes into 1/4-inch fries, and we're just going to soak those in a bowl of water for about 30 minutes. So then we are just going to drain them and pat them dry, and then add on 2 tablespoons of olive oil and some salt and pepper. And I have my oven preheated to 425 degrees, and my sheet pan is lined with parchment paper, and we're just going to spread the fries out onto the pan. You don't want to overcrowd the fries or they won't get as crispy. So we just want to roast those for about 25 minutes, flipping halfway in between. And now this is optional, but I also wanted to serve corn on the cob with this. So I have 3 ears of corn, and I'm just putting some pats of butter in some tin foil, along with some salt and pepper, and we're just going to roast these along with the fries in the oven for those 25 minutes. And now let's make the ají amarillo sauce, and I'm so sorry if I'm butchering that, but I have a 1/2 cup of mayo and a 1/4 cup of sour cream, and then this is the amarillo paste. It's a spicy pepper sauce, and we just want about 2 tablespoons of that. And you can find this in the international section of your grocery store, or even online on Amazon or places like that. Then we're also adding 1 tablespoon of ketchup, 1 tablespoon of lime juice, and some salt and pepper. And we're just going to set that aside until we are ready to serve. So now I have 6 all-beef hot dogs, and we just want to cut these into coins, about 1/4 inch thick. And we're just going to put those on the sheet pan with the fries and roast for an additional 15 minutes. You see how nice and crispy those fries are getting already? So good. Baked French fries can absolutely be delicious and crispy. And if you've had salchipapas before, definitely let me know down in the comments a little bit more on the history of it. I do believe that it is used as a street food in a lot of other countries, but I believe it started in Peru. I never really learned much from my coworker about it, but all I know is it is delicious. Okay, so then to serve, we just want to place the fries on a plate, top with the hot dogs, and then drizzle on our sauce, along with ketchup and mustard if desired. This is like the ultimate street food. I get why it is so loved and so addicting, but it really has those summery vibes of grilling and having a cookout with the hot dogs and French fries, and I figured it would just be perfect for summertime. This is definitely getting entered into our rotation. My husband and toddler both loved this. Okay, so now moving on to my sheet pan bruschetta chicken. So I have 2 large chicken breasts here that I'm just filleting down the middle to make 4 thin cutlets. And then I'm just going to place them on my parchment lined sheet pan, drizzle them with olive oil, and season with salt and pepper, Italian seasoning, and garlic powder. I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees, and we just want to bake them for about 10 minutes. And meanwhile, we are going to make our bruschetta salad for the top. So I have 12 ounces of cherry tomatoes cut in quarters, and to that I am adding in a 1/4 cup of fresh basil minced, 2 large garlic cloves, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and 1 teaspoon of balsamic, along with some salt and pepper. And we just want to give that a good stir and keep that in the fridge until we're ready to serve. And then I also have 8 ounces of fresh mozzarella that I'm just cutting into 4 thick pieces. So once the chicken is cooked for 10 minutes, we're going to take it out of the oven and place a block of cheese on each chicken breast, as well as a bunch of asparagus that I trimmed, and we're just going to drizzle olive oil on the asparagus, along with 1 teaspoon of balsamic and some more Italian seasoning, salt, and pepper. And we're just going to bake this for an additional 8 to 10 minutes, or until the cheese is slightly melted and the chicken is cooked through. And then we are just going to top the chicken with the bruschetta salad, so you get that pop of the nice fresh cold tomatoes on the warm chicken and melty cheese. It is just so good. So let's move on to my sheet pan paella. So I have my sheet pan lined with parchment paper, and to that I'm adding in 2 tablespoons of olive oil, a half an onion chopped, a half a bell pepper chopped, 3 cloves of garlic minced, the zest of 1 lemon, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and a pinch of saffron. Now, I know saffron is expensive, but I actually found this little package at the grocery store for $4, and a little goes a long way. So I have my oven preheated at 400 degrees, and we're just going to roast this for about 5 minutes. So then I'm going to add on some chorizo, or in this case I used some andouille cut into rounds, as well as a pound of large raw shrimp with the tails on but peeled and deveined. I have 3 cups of cooked rice that I am going to add into the center of the sheet pan here, along with 1 cup of frozen peas. We just want to cook that for about 8 to 10 minutes to get the rice nice and crispy. Now, if you do want to cook everything on one pan, including the rice, you can use 3 cups of minute rice, raw, right in the center of the pan, and 3 cups of chicken broth on top of the rice, and it'll cook up the same way as this 3 cups of rice. But I just wanted to use up what I already had in the pantry. You could also use the microwavable packets of rice. So then we just want to stir that all together to get all of the spices incorporated into the rice. And we're going to serve with some fresh parsley and lemon slices. I love making this sheet pan paella. Paella is one of my favorite dishes, and it can be really time consuming. So this is a great way to have it done all on one pan, super quick and easy. Okay, so now moving on to the Sheet Pan Cashew Chicken. I am making my sauce here with 1/3 cup of soy sauce, 3 tablespoons of honey, 2 tablespoons of vinegar, 2 tablespoons of sesame oil, 2 cloves of garlic minced, 2 teaspoons of grated ginger or ginger paste. And we just want to give that a good stir. So now I have 2 large bell peppers cut into 1-inch pieces and 1 red onion cut into 1-inch pieces. And I'm just going to pour half of the sauce on the peppers and onions. And my oven is preheated to 425 degrees. And I'm just going to place the peppers and onions on my parchment lined baking sheet and roast for 15 minutes. And then I'm going to pour the rest of the sauce onto 2 large chicken breasts that I cut into 1-inch cubes, and we're going to let that marinate while the vegetables roast. So once that 15 minutes is up, we're going to add our chicken and 1 cup of cashews. And we're going to roast that for an additional 12 to 15 minutes. And then just toss everything together, and I like to serve it with some sesame seeds on top, some chives, and some rice on the side. And last but certainly not least is my Sheet Pan Barbecue Mini Meatloaves. So I have 1 pound of ground beef, and to that I'm adding in 1 egg, a half a cup of breadcrumbs, a half an onion grated, 1 teaspoon of parsley, a 1/4 cup of barbecue sauce, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and some salt and pepper. We just want to mix that together and form 4 small meatloaves. But we're going to set that aside and start on our potatoes. So I have 1 pound of baby potatoes cut in quarters, and I'm going to toss those in 1 tablespoon of oil and some salt and pepper. My oven is preheated to 400 degrees, and I lined my sheet pan with foil. You could also use parchment. And we're going to roast the potatoes for 20 minutes. And then I have a half a pound of green beans that I am also going to add to the same bowl that the potatoes were in. Save a dish there with another tablespoon of oil and salt and pepper. So once the 20 minutes is up on those potatoes, we are going to scooch them over to one side of the pan and put the green beans on the other side, and then put our 4 mini meatloaves in the center. We just want to bake that for another 20 to 25 minutes, or until the meatloaves reach 165 degrees. And then we're going to brush them with barbecue sauce. And I have some crumbled bacon that I also added to the top, but that is optional. And you just want to let the meatloaves rest for about 10 minutes before serving. And I have to say, guys, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you may know that my toddler does not like ground beef. We won with these. He actually loved them. He ate a whole meatloaf, and it was such a huge win. If you have picky eaters in your family, young or old, you know the struggle. This is one of those things that he won't eat, and he eats everything else pretty much, so it's always been strange, but yes, he loved these, and they were perfect, so they're definitely going to be added into our rotation this summer as well. I really hope you enjoyed coming along with me and making 5 more summer sheet pan dinners. I will link below my videos for my other sheet pan dinners. As I said earlier, I love this kind of dinner. Super easy cleanup, and they're all full of summer flavors and very family friendly. If you give any of them a try, please be sure to leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think. And thank you so much for watching until the end. We will see you in the next one. Bye.